Let's take a look at this e-commerce business in the tools and protective gear industry that was recently listed for sale. It's making $388,000 a year and it's available for sale at an asking price of $1,600,000. So a little over a 4x multiple. Now, this listing was interesting because I really didn't know whether I like it or don't like it. So I think by breaking it down here, you guys can take away some things that you might want to look out for in an e-commerce business and also things that you might want to clarify if you're looking into it. This might be a great business, it might not be. So I'm going to kind of go through my thought process on what jumps out at me in this listing. Now, on that note, if you're interested in acquiring an established and profitable online business, you got to check out the newsletter, the Acumen Wire. It's my newsletter where I send out deals like this of established and profitable online businesses that were recently listed for sale. So head on over to acumenwire.com. You know the drill. Put in your email, click subscribe, confirm your subscription, and boom, as these listings come up for sale or as they come up kind of weekly almost, I send out one email, maybe one or two emails a week with a group of like, say, 3 businesses that were recently listed for sale. And you can see all the ones that I've written up down below here over the last few months since I started this and go through and check them all out for yourself. I'm personally looking to acquire more online businesses. So on that note, let's jump into this e-commerce business in the tools and protective gear space. Now, I'm going to go through and highlight some things. This is a long teaser here from Website Closers. They're kind of known for their over-the-top, lengthy teasers and information, but I'm not going to go through and read it word for word. So first thing that jumps out right in the headline is SBA pre-qualified e-commerce brand. Now, SBA pre-qualification is kind of a bogus thing. I don't really know what else to say about it. There's no such thing as SBA pre-qualified. A better way of expressing what I think they mean here is that it is SBA eligible. And for that, it generally has to have, I think, 2 or 3 years of tax returns filed in the United States for the business. That actually rules out a lot of online businesses because they might be domiciled in other countries. They have to have US tax returns to be eligible for SBA. And I think the income has to be relatively stable. There might be some income threshold on it, but generally, SBA pre-qualification, which again, mind you, there is no such thing as SBA pre-qualification, even though brokers use that term very proactively or aggressively. Not sure what to say, but it's more SBA eligible, indicates that it's got decent tax returns filed in the US. The industry, and then consistent growth every year. I like that as opposed to seeing, a hockey stick of growth or instability. 11 years in business. I like that. That's a long time for an online business. 20% repeat orders and 150 AOV. It's pretty good repeat order rate. So that tells good it's not all just, coming through direct response marketing of pump ads, get order, and then rinse and repeat. There are some customers coming back. And 150 AOV, that's a good AOV. You can get responses from ads without, a long-term nurturing sequence. At that price point, it's not too high to where people are like, okay, I'm not going to put in my credit card for this. So let's find out more about this business. Retailers spent more than a decade as an authorized reseller of high quality professional grade hand tools and PPE sourced directly from the manufacturers they represent and sold with competitive pricing. It's gone through a rigorous initial underwriting process with our lenders. Okay, so they're substantiating this SBA pre-qualification thing. You know, I don't give much credence to this because, to my knowledge, and from the brokers that I've spoke with, there is no SBA pre-qualification. It's just simply, hey, does this business meet these broad parameters? Anyways, that allows you to qualify for an SBA loan with 10% down. Likely you're going to need a little bit more. All SKUs are sourced in the US, 38,000 products, 900 among their best sellers. So right there, there's a broad range of products that they're selling. 38,000. I really don't like that. I'd rather see a e-commerce business be, focused and concise on certainly less than 100, if not less than a dozen. We got the AOV. They're popular with the DIY crowd. So we still don't know exactly what they are, but mind you, there's 38,000, so there's pretty pretty broad scope of tools and equipments that they're selling. Products are diverse enough that the company appeals to a wide section of target industries, including construction and agriculture. Company's tools are sold year round, so there's no seasonable factors. Uh, Diverse channels. 61% comes from Amazon, up from 41% in 2019. So they're proactively growing that. 34% on the website. I'd rather see 61% from the website and 34 from Amazon, but this is not horrible. Let's come into the business broker takeaways. Highly efficient operations. The company now ships nearly 200 packages a day and maintains high levels of customer satisfaction. The company is a hybrid inventory model where they stock their fastest selling SKUs for quick shipments and otherwise rely on drop shipping from the manufacturers. The company's suppliers were strategically chosen because of their capability for quick turnaround, and this company maintains $100,000 worth of inventory at all times to keep up with demand. Okay. So the company's suppliers is something that I'm unsure about, right? Because up here it mentions that they are sourcing directly from the manufacturers, and then down here it mentions suppliers. Well, a supplier is generally not the manufacturer. When I think of a supplier, I'm thinking of, a third party. And then in the tool industry, and in a lot of industries these days, the companies often don't drop ship or work with e-commerce businesses specifically. They have to have a retail showroom to be eligible for retail accounts, and they generally don't drop ship. So something kind of seems, I don't want to say weird because that would imply negative, but I'm not sure what's going on here. Like, are these people reselling tools from a brand like Snap-on Tools or Craftsman? And mind you, I don't think those two would deal with a e-commerce specific business. Or are they buying from a third-party supplier? Right. Another thing that kind of suggests that they are buying it from a third party supplier is that it says the suppliers, well, as I've got selected, the company suppliers were strategically chosen. It's kind of weird. If you're trying to deal directly with manufacturers, you often don't get to choose your supplier. Your supplier is the manufacturer. Let's go on to the next one. Wide diversity of products. The company has taken pride in being able to offer its customers such a diverse and wide range of tools and products that are made in the US and come with lifetime warranties. Having been in operation for more than a decade, the company's repeat customer rate has soared to 45%. That contradicts the headline of 20%. The company appeals to DIY customers, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Lifetime warranties as a buyer makes me a little scared, right? I'm wondering what type of warranty liability I am subject to if I buy this. And then number 3, vibrant marketing plan. The company's marketing is diverse and includes PPC ads used on Google, social media marketing on Facebook and Instagram, and email marketing to a database of 29,000 subscribers, and an SEO program on their website that includes the blog. So as a buyer, I'm reading this going, I don't know how I'm going to market this because they're already doing everything. Now, in some cases, right, you might know a channel they might not be tapping into. But in this case, when they describe their marketing plan as vibrant, that's telling me that they've put a lot of effort into selling the product. And we have some other details on the company. Launched in April 2013, has developed strong relationships with top brands in the industry. As resellers, the company is now in the process of adding new suppliers in the field of automotive tools to open up new markets. The company is giving its customers more variety. This is also expected to boost sales in another way by having alternate sources for any given product. The company is not reliant on a single supplier. So, I mean, it seems like they're buying through a third party. You're buying through a middleman, a wholesaler, but they're buying specific brands of tools through that middleman. That's at least what it seems like here, but I'm still not 100% sure. Company had 2 websites initially, but I think they've merged into one. And yeah. So, I like that it's all made in the US. I like that the business is SBA eligible. I like the repeat order rate. I like their AOV. I like their 11 years in business. But what don't I like? Well, first thing is going to be this reseller of the tools, because when you're a reseller of a manufacturer's tools, you're at the mercy of that manufacturer, right? If you start getting a high volume of XYZ brand tool sales, to keep that up, you have to keep buying those tools, and you have to buy it from that one supplier, that one manufacturer. If that company starts raising their prices on you, they can kind of squeeze you out, or they might start going direct, right? So you have to keep that stuff in mind when you're selling a company's branded product, right? Or another brand's product. If you want to sell your own branded product, that would be good. You control the whole kind of force of the model here. You control all forces of the business in that case. And I think if this business is not already doing it, I think a great next step, and what would certainly be my area of interest, would be selling my own branded tools on this website, right? Like, hey, I know you were searching for this. We recommend our own house brand that is $1 cheaper and costs us $10 less to fulfill. Boom, we get some margin out of that. Yeah, so eh, I don't know enough to say for sure, but it sounds like I don't like their model of fulfillment and buying from the manufacturers or suppliers, but that really needs more research. I don't like that Amazon now represents 61% of the company's sales. I know Amazon can move some serious volume fast, but you are at the mercy of Amazon's algorithm in that case. You're carrying platform risk, and it is very difficult to take customers away from Amazon. Amazon really works hard to own the customer and not let you own the customer. There have not been many e-commerce businesses, and many have tried, but there have not been many that have migrated customers from Amazon. If the customer buys on Amazon, they're generally going to stay on Amazon. You're not going to pull them to your own branded site. Um, some buyers seem to like Amazon. I personally, would not want to have that platform risk or keep building it. I would really want to focus on building my own website sales. The other thing I really don't like in here is the number of products, right? So you've got 38,000 products here in a business that's doing $4 million a year in sales. I mean, that's a lot of products for relatively low sales. One thing you would need to flesh out, I think, as a buyer is what's really selling and what products can you really drive with ads. And, this may be an opportunity here if their ads are basically just, where's the part on their vibrant marketing? If their ads are just running, to a data feed of Google shopping products of all 38,000, maybe you can focus in and drive sales for a handful of specific products that are your own branded products. Maybe that's an opportunity here that they're not doing. But again, all of this stuff, including, suppliers in the automotive tool, seems like a major shift. It's not like you can just kind of take what's already working here and scale it up a little. You kind of have to step outside of your lane, whether that's through totally changing up the marketing and focusing on specific products, bringing in your own branded products, shifting to these automotive tools, etc. I don't see an easy internal lever for scaling this business up. Now, the final thing I don't like about this business here is the margin. 388,000 on $1.41 million, or 1.42 if we round that technically, in sales. It's less than a 10% margin. That's like probably 9% margin here. We'll do 388 divided by 4175. Yeah, 9.2% margin. So your margin is really tight. I'd be curious to know how much of this is going to the advertising. Like, is there room to clean up the ads and improve margin in doing so? Or is it the cost of goods is really eating up the margin? That's something I would be curious on. So that is this listing here. And, like I said, the big things that you really need to take away from this, or look into if you're going to, request more information on this business is, hey, what's the relationship with these suppliers and manufacturers? Do the manufacturers already sell direct to consumer? Is there a risk that they could go direct to consumer? Is there a risk that they could cut you out and say, hey, we're no longer selling to e-commerce only businesses? Are you the only e-commerce business that can sell their product? You really got to have a solid understanding of those. And then also have a solid understanding of what's happening for marketing right now, and finally, which products of their 38,000 are selling. Um, I think the valuation is a little bit high on this one for what it is, but maybe you get into it, maybe somebody really loves it. But from my perspective and what I can tell in the teaser here, 4x is a little steep on this. I think a realistic asking price is maybe in the 3.5x range. Ooh, one other thing I just noticed that I don't really like is employees. One. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of a detriment because I think somewhere in here it mentioned that they're fulfilling orders out of stock. So they stock the orders, they stock some items. If there's one employee, is that the one owner fulfilling the orders? Who's handling customer service? Yeah. I gotta say that is not a it's not a real, kind of green flag up in the air on this business only having one employee. On that note, what do you guys think about this business for sale here? Is there anything you think I missed? Anything in this listing that I overlooked or didn't touch on? Let me know in the comments. And on that note, if you found it helpful, insightful, you know the drill. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and go head on over to acumenwire.com and subscribe to the email newsletter for more deals like this. In my opinion, better deals than this. I'm calling it a wrap and signing off.